Hey guys, and welcome to Mentoring Mondays. So this week we will have a look at healing, and in particular one very controversial skill of White Mage, which is Cure 1. You might have seen even this website going around which will explain to you why you should never use Cure 1 under any circumstances as far as you have Cure 2 available. I agree with most of it, but not everything. So let's have a look at the toolkit of White Mage and what we have, and then we will go into some dungeons so I can show you what I mean. Let me just bring up the skills. We are on my alt, by the way. That's why you see the little sprout sign next to my name today. So on level 2 we get Cure. So if you go into your very first dungeons, let me bring up also the duty list so we can see exactly what dungeons I mean. So if you go into anything up until Hauke Manor, the only heal what you will have available is Cure 1. So you don't have any other choice, this is what you need to use. From Brave Flux's Longstop onwards, you will have Cure 2 available. Now the way how these two skills work, and these were pretty much designed back in Realm Reborn when we had a completely different mana management. So you didn't just have a fixed 10k mana pool, and you actually had to be very careful what skills you were using. So the intended use for these two skills is that you would use Cure 1. Can you see it from my overlay? No, you can't. Okay, let me just adjust my HUD, and just for the time being put this up here, so you will definitely see it there. Okay, so there we go. Let me move it a bit more. Want to make sure that you guys can see everything. Okay, let's just move it out here, that it's not going to bother me here because I'm not going to use these hotbars now. Okay, this will be fine. So we have Cure 1, which will cost you 400 MP, and it will heal for a 450 cure potency. So just to demonstrate that, let's see how big it heals on me. So that's about a 3k heal on myself. But from level 30 we have Cure 2 available, which will heal 700 potency. So not exactly double the Cure 1's potency, but it will cost you 1000 mana. And let's see what exactly is that going to heal on you. So compared to the about 3k, this healed 4800, so almost 5k on me. Now the other thing why it might be, the main thing why you would want to cast, according to the game, Cure 1 and not Cure 2, is because Cure 1 has a 15% chance that your next Cure 2 will cost no MP. So let's test this and see how many times I need to press Cure 1 to get that special effect. So that's one. That's true. 3, 4, 5. So I pressed it 5 times, and now I can cast Cure 2 without costing it any MP. The problem with this is that it's very temperamental, as you could see. At the moment, this could be 5 times, but you could be casting it 20 times and you still don't get the proc. Both of them cost 1 GCD. So my recast timer is 2.35, and Cure 1 will have the same cast time as my attack spell Stone has. So if I was to press Cure 1, I can easily weave in OGCD, but on this level I don't have any OGCDs. My first OGCD, Presence of Mind, comes in at level 30. Now at level 30 we get Cure 2, which is still not a full cast time. So let's see if it would clip if, just for the presentation, I try to weave in SIs after Cure 2. There might be very slight clipping, but also I'm slow. Does it matter? Not that much. I can show it to you on Presence of Mind with Cure 1, what difference it's going to make. So with Cure 1 I could definitely weave in that OGCD. Now when you are in a dungeon and you are healing a tank, you also want to do some damage. In lower level dungeons, the only damage what you have is your dot, arrow, and you have stone, which is your single target GCD. The idea behind not wanting to fish for the free Cure 2s and just ignore Cure 1 and start using Cure 2 so you can damage more is true, yes. But there are certain levels where I wouldn't take it that seriously. So the point where I completely agree with the statement that you shouldn't be using Cure 1 anymore is when you get your first Lily spells. So that's at level 52 when you have Afflatus Solace. As you start doing damage and you are in combat, your Lily gauge is going to generate and you will get 3 lilies which you can use for heals. These are insta cast heals. So you have plenty of time to weave in any OGCDs, to move, to do anything. And honestly, most of the time, between like level 50 and 60 content, you are not even going to use all of your lilies unless something happened. I use them more times on DPS than actually on tanks, if the tank was good. But people argue that, for example, in a dungeon like Brave Fox, long stop, Quarn, Cutter's Cry, and especially like Stone Vigil and Zemael Darkhold, you shouldn't be using Cure 1. You should be using only Cure 2. Now these are the dungeons compared to your introductory dungeons where things can get a bit spicy. At Brave Flocks there are some very big pools. At Karn you have the bees. Cutter's Cry has a lot of terrain damage as well, so if you are sending in those quicksands, then you will get damage from that as well. And Stone Vigil is probably one of the worst leveling dungeons where things can get really, really spicy. Now, someone new to healing might panic if they see a tank rapidly dropping in HP. And even if we ignore the simple fact that they are trying to fish for the free Cure 2, the reason behind them wanting to use Cure 1 can be two reasons. Either this is what they used so far, and they are still getting used to, oh, I have a bigger new button to press, or they can see the cast time and they will say, but Cure 1 is faster, the tank's HP is going down, I don't know what to do, I fear that they are going to die, so I will use the fastest skill I have available. Which is, I think, a perfectly valid reaction from a newbie healer. Now the reason why you should try and get away from this habit, because on the long run it will be a lot less stressful for you if you start using Cure 2. It's a bigger heal, it costs you more, it's more than double the mana cost as Cure 1, but it's not healing the double. But believe me, even that 1.5 more or less potency than Cure 1 will make a difference. So you can see a tank dropping down to half HP, you will cast Cure 2 and you will be fine. That tank will be almost on full HP. But if you cast Cure 1, that's not going to be enough. So you either have to cast another Cure 1, or you decide that you panic more, so you will cast a Cure 2 anyway. So that's 2 GCD heals, and on the long run it will be more mana for you, because you had to use the mana for Cure 1 and use one for Cure 2 as well. And also you were not doing much damage. And the more damage you do to the mobs, the sooner the mobs will die, and the less you will have to heal your tank. But I would say that during these end of Realm Reborn dungeons, which are like still leveling, you didn't get a proper gear yet, your tank didn't get a proper gear yet, and the whole thing is just a mess, and depending on how experienced tank you get, you either have to chain heal anyway, because they are not using mitigations. Oh, hello! Thank you for the follow, Kittican. How are you today? So in these dungeons, you will be easily chain healing. I'm good, thank you. We are just talking about some healing advice for newbie healers in Final Fantasy XIV, and which skills we should be using or not using. So in these dungeons, most of the time, you will be chain healing. And the most damage what you will do probably will be putting a dot on the mobs, and then oh, I did get another alarm going off, but I didn't get the notification with it. I don't know what just happened, but whoever pressed what, thank you. Too much anxiety and too many fools. You know, I completely agree with that. When I started playing 10 years ago, I started as Summoner and Scholar, but because the DPS queue was so long, I had to try and go as Scholar into the dungeons. And in games I played before, doing damage as a healer was not really a thing, so I was just healing, and when the tank didn't take damage, I did nothing. And people started yelling at me why I'm not doing anything, instead of just saying that, hey, I don't need any healing, you could just damage the mobs. So I totally understand the healing anxiety. And it really depends on the people you get as well, because there are some amazing tanks who are very patient and they know how to use the mitigations. But if you get someone who is going faster than what is comfortable for you, then that's not nice. Oh, you are a tank main one. Which is your favorite tank? Dark Knight. We love the edgy. I prefer Gunbreaker, but in Shadowbringers I was playing a lot of Dark Knight and it was very nice, especially when you get the Blackest Night. After that, it's just so easy. Gunbreaker is a close second. Okay, then we agree on tanks, I think. Alright, I think I've done enough talking about Cure 1 and Cure 2, so let's do a leveling roulette and see what we get and how this actually looks in action. Of course, it's going to be an insta queue with a healer. Yes, Lich is EU. Okay, and we actually did get a low level dungeon where I do have access to Cure 2, but that might not be what I will be constantly using. We will see. I will try because that's what we should be doing. So on the run, it's very easy to already put a dot on the targets and then they will try quicker. Let's Asuna that poison off. And I will just let the tank drop a little bit in HP. And now I can easily use Cure 2. And they are almost at full. So on the next one, just out of curiosity, I will use a Cure 1 and see how much that heals them up from half HP. Already put a dot on all of the mobs we pulled. I'll put some more here. And now I'm not using Cure 1 because this went down quite a bit. And I didn't move out of the AoE in time. Come on. So if I wanted to use Cure 1, I would have to start healing a lot sooner than I do with Cure 2. Because if you start casting it at half HP, then it's just not going to be enough. Let's get that key. I don't have any regen yet, and that's another reason why these dungeons are not too easy. Also, healers like Scholar and Sage, they don't have access to any of their OGCD heals. Okay, so now I will cast a Cure 1. And that barely healed anything on the tank. Let's try it again. Yeah, it barely does any healing. It looked more effective when I was just using Cure 2 straight away. So if I was this tank and I saw a newbie healer waiting until half my HP is done, I might be a little bit worried. So if I don't die and I don't see the healer struggle, I don't really mind if they just use a cure 1, as long as when I need it, they are not trying to fish for the free cure and they just use cure 2 straight away. Because here, where they only needed a little bit of healing, it didn't really matter if I used cure 2 or cure 1, and cure 1 was less mana, so why not? But if they do a big pull, then it's just less stressful if we use cure 2. Are we jumping? Yes, we're jumping. We get the key so they can run. And here I will actually swift cast a cure 2 on them, so they don't die while running. And as you can see, mana is not a problem at all. I used lucid dreaming once. This one doesn't have a dot yet. So if you see, the HP is going down very fast, and I did have to use 2 cure 2s in a row. So by the time you put that cast together, even if you think that a cure 1 was going to be enough, it might not be. Now it is, so I'm not going to waste my mana on a cure 2. Put a dot on this mob, and we had a machinist, so that's instantly dead, which is nice. I will go for the key, because it's more useful if I go for it, since I only have my single target attack, but the DPS can do a bit more damage to the mob than I can. So these are those dungeons where if you are a leveling healer, you might be still used to using cure 1 and only have access to cure 1. So you will instantly try to use it a bit more out of instincts, but really, especially here where it's just 2 mobs, I can wait until I can use that potency of cure 2. And since Asuna is an instacast now, it's nice to use it to take off poison. Poison not that much if you can heal it out, because then just heal it, but like slow and stun and these debuffs, please take them out, especially if it's on a caster, because black mages are not going to like the interrupted casts. Especially when it's just one mob, you can see how much time you have before you have to heal that tank. But in the big pools, their HP is going to go down very, very quickly. when we go out of here, we will try and look at the skills of Scholar. It's a bit different with the shield healer because it's going to heal less, but it will also give a mitigation. And as a Scholar, you have somehow less will to press the low heal ability physic than you have on White Mage pressing the Cure 1 instead of the Cure 2. Maybe because the game is tricking you into thinking that Cure 1 proc of the free Cure 2 is good for you, but it's not necessarily. Most of the time when I had a proc from the Cure 1 to use the free Cure 2, it was when the tank was not taking any more damage. So I couldn't really use it anyway. Okay, so that was a fairly low level dungeon with a White Mage. Let's swap to Scholar and look at the Scholar abilities. Yes. So with Scholar, we have Physic, which is basically our equivalent of Cure 1. Same potency, not exactly the same potency. Yes, it is. Yeah, 400 MP cost and 400 potency. That's basically our Cure 1. And at level 30, so on the same level where White Mage gets Cure 2, we get Adlock View, which is a 300 cure potency, costs 900 mana. It used to be 1000 like White Mage's Cure 2, but it will also apply a shield. Now, there are two reasons where Scholar manages a low level dungeon easily and more easier than White Mage. It's because the fairy is going to auto heal people. So if I click off my food buff now and I put a food on, that will give me some vitality. So the fairy is instantly going to heal me. Or it should, but I didn't take enough HP because it's a low level food. We will go into a dungeon and you will see it there. So the fairy is going to insta heal whichever target they want to. And we also have a regen from the fairy, which we don't have with White Mage on that level. What we have from White Mage is a GCD party heal, but this heal from the fairy, this is an OGCD. Physic is a 1.47 cast time here, and Adloquium is 1.97. So it's the same thing like with Cure 1 and Cure 2, that Cure 1 is faster, but Cure 2 is going to heal bigger, and in this case it heals lower, but it gives a shield which will be equivalent to a bigger heal altogether. So if I would press Adloquium, I can also weave in that fairy ability and I get the regen from the fairy as well. You don't have this with White Mage. You will need to cast both the single target and the AoE heal as well. So I think a Shield Healer's Toolkit is a lot easier managed on low level dungeons, and because of the fairy's auto heal and the OGCD regen, it's a lot easier and a lot more straightforward to just cast the bigger shield because you will get extra heals from your companion. But with White Mage, you can feel like you only have those two skills and nothing else to use. And it's easy to think that, oh, I will cast a Cure 1, and then when I need the second heal, I will have a Cure 2 for free. But during one pull, it's very unlikely that you will get that proc. Still, if you are just starting out as healer and you are more on the anxious side, it's perfectly okay to heal the tank when they are only missing a little bit of HP. And for that, using Cure 1 is better. But as you get more comfortable and you can tell how much your skill is going to heal, then it's better to let the tank drop down a bit more and just use Cure 2 instead of 2 Cure 1s. So just to have the same comparison, we will go into the same dungeon with Scholar as well and see how easier that's going to be. Okay, so same dungeon. I have my fairy. I don't have any of my ether flow abilities. And we got the same tank. Alright. They will think me crazy. Okay, let's put a shield on the tank. Let's take that poison off. And I don't really need to use anything else because the fairy just does its job. You can see that embrace on the tank, and that's constant heal from my fairy. One of the DPS picked up the key, which is nice. While they are getting together the first pack, I just put the shield on them, so they already have some defense while running. And here, I will just put on the regen from the fairy. So we get the auto heals. We also get the regen. And whenever they drop in HP or the shield drops off, then I will recast my big heal, which is pretty much the same as White Mage would be using Cure 2. I had to use it once during this pull, but on White Mage I used the Cure 2 and it was a bit more stressful because the tank didn't have the shield from my heal, so it felt like they needed more healing than what I was giving. I would have been very anxious healer, even more than I was when I started, if I started with White Mage. The shields just give that extra peace of mind that the tank is going to be fine. We are going into the boss room again. Nice. So they got that shield from me, they got the fairy regen, and I still don't really need to heal them. Now they are down to half HP, so I will. I think White Mage and Astro should be getting their regen a bit sooner, because with this fairy ability, and Sage has the equivalent of this one as well with a party regen, shield healers are really superior in lower level content, especially with the auto heals from the fairy. Like, I don't need to heal that tank at all. With White Mage I did need to cast a Cure 1 on them. Oh, we got a friend. DPS is getting the key. Nice. I will put on the fairy regen, which didn't reach the tank because my fairy was lagging behind. But as I'm running, I can put a shield on the tank. On these two big ones, it's still okay to put a dot on. But again, I barely have to heal that tank because the fairy is doing most of the job. After this, we will go back to White Mage and do a few more of these low level dungeons, like the higher level ones, to see which comes naturally to use, like Cure 1, or it will be less stressful to use Cure 2. Use the shield here because we are getting more mobs, plus my fairy regen, but I'm not going to bother to take that poison off because I can easily heal that. And I rather spend the GCD on actually putting a shield on them. One DPS is going for the key already. And by the way, here you should be killing the Jester first, because it uses these ice spikes, which is quite a nasty one. And let's take this debuff off people, because it's not nice if they can only run and attack slowly. If you attack slowly, that's less DPS, right? So this is a very good tank because on both runs they were using every mitigation available to them. But it can especially make your life hard as a healer if you are just starting out and you also got a newbie tank who doesn't know yet how to use the mitigations. Then probably you will be just chain healing the entire dungeon, and in that case I totally support using Cure 1 because you will be happy if you get a Cure 2 and not cost any mana. And like against one enemy, I didn't need to heal that tank at all. I will just put a shield on them. And I'm pretty sure that will be enough for the entire boss fight. Oh, look away. Probably I could have gridded in one more GCD there, but we are not here to grid. And kill the Ed. I don't even know if we need to kill the Ed at this point because the boss is just dying so quickly. No need to take that poison off either, because the fairy does all the job on that. Let's give this tank a com again. They were good. And that was the same dungeon with two different healers, regen healer and the shield healer. I have to say that I was less anxious with the shield healer. It just felt so much easier. But let's get back to White Mage. Okay, which low level dungeon should we like? Let's go to Stone Vigil, because this is the one where I usually feel like so many things can go wrong. Let's see if we get a big pulling tank or a small pulling tank. And the hard bit of these dungeons is that you don't have AoE yet. And it's especially hurting in the next dungeon. I think it doesn't sink you down. Okay, so Zema Darkhold is already fine because you will get synced down from 46 above. So if we go into the next dungeon, we will have AoE there. Hey Banana, how you doing? I love your festive banana Santa hat on. So in Stone Vigil, we will get synced down from 43 and we would only get AoE at 45. So this is why this dungeon is so painful, because we still don't have OGCDs if we are going with a shield healer. Like Scholar doesn't have the Aether Flow abilities yet. And now we are going with a White Mage and we won't have AoE yet. So it's pretty much just heal the tank and single target DPS the mobs while the tank is trying to do big pulls. And so after this one, we will go into Zemael Darkhold just to show you how much difference having that AoE means. If this Q is going to pop at all, because we might be here all day. And I don't want to go with the NPCs because that's not going to help me. I need someone to do big pulls. I'm good, thank you. Been editing the video, which will go into the Final Fantasy Friday article on Friday, and I'm not nearly done with it, so I will have some long nights coming this week to edit that. And look, it's snowing here. We have our Christmas or winter event on, but I will do that next week. So we can get into some festive spirits before the Christmas break. But it's nice when it's snowing. Oh, you will write about Muggles? Nice. We do love Muggles. Chocobos and Muggles are there in every Final Fantasy pretty much. No one really wants to do this dungeon with me. Come on, guys. Should I just go with the NPCs and force double pull for the poor tank? Because that's an option. I can run ahead and bring some more mobs for the tank. Okay, I will give it until 5 minutes because it says that that's the wait time. And if it doesn't pop in 5 minutes, then we are going with the NPCs. Can't believe it that a Realm Reborn dungeon is not insta-queue with a healer. What are all the healers doing? They are all on strike. Yeah, that's 5 minutes. We are going with the NPCs. Okay. Stone Vigil. Let's go. I will bring some extra mobs for the tank. And we will see how that goes. Okay. So he is picking these ones up, that's good. And I will sprint across and bring these two mobs for the tank. I do need to heal him a bit more because I was naughty and I ran away when I should have started healing him already. But that was two Cure 2 casts. That's a third one. And that's 4. And even I used that a little bit earlier than I should have because it healed him up completely. So that was 4 uses of Cure 2 and I still have more than enough mana. Now this pull would have died a lot quicker if we are with players because the NPCs are not doing AoE damage. So again, I will be naughty and run away and bring some more mobs to the tank. Or no, because those are far away. Okay, I will come back. We finish this group and we'll get the next one together. So now, out of curiosity, on this pack, of course it's procs now. So we got that free Cure 2 proc, which I'm going to use before it expires. Okay, let's heal him up before we carry on. And I even forgot to use my regen. Makes my life harder that I need to drag the mobs for him. Okay, now I can bring some more. Come on. And he's being naughty, by the way, because he runs out of my line of sight. And now I will just try cure 1. So when I cast cure 1, I get that feeling that I instantly want to heal him again. Oh, we need to get you to affiliate. Oh, Banana, that's very kind of you. It would be nice. I have the follower numbers for it, but I don't have the average viewers, and I also need to stream more, but I don't find another day when I can consistently stream every week. So I'm kind of thinking that I want to get the constant viewers above 3, which is the requirement for the affiliate. And if I can see that on every stream, then I will look into how to stream more. And I have to tell you that having this dash on the white mage in this dungeon is a lifesaver. Oh, he's not moving out of those flames. So here, because he's not moving out of the flames, it just feels like I don't want to bother with cure 1 at all. Because it will be just better if I keep casting cure 2 and I can get away with less heals. Like, he's not on full HP, but that's fine. He doesn't have to be. A toxic healer would say that they only need to have 1 HP. That's enough. But it's an easy and honest mistake to do as a newbie healer, to wanting to keep the tank on full HP all the time. Which is nice to know, but you don't have to. Like here, I'm not going to heal him because the mob is almost dead. Here he can get a regen. And he will be fine before we pull the next. Okay, we will get some fire. So I will heal everyone up. And come on, my guy, get these mobs. And I will bring him some more. And this will be some spicy pool. Okay, so I will drop a regen on him. So that's a cure 2. Like, I could cast a cure 1, but with that it feels like I would need to heal him straight away again. So let's put a cure 2 on him. It's really visible how big it heals if you actually heal the tank up from like a lower level. Now he's run out of mitigation, so he needs 2 or 3 heals up here. And in this dungeon, you will get this a lot with players as well, because they will be undergeared, or the tank won't know how to use the mitigations, or the DPS is not going to do enough damage. So now I was purely casting Cure 2 during this pull. At the next big pull like this, I will try to go with the Cure 1 and see how much more I will have to heal with that, and if we get the free proc at all. So these are just ice spike, these are small ones. I will just put a regen on him, but you can easily get a tank who will try to pull all the way up here. And in that situation, there's no Cure 2, there's no free Cure 2 which will save you from constantly healing. And if you need to heal constantly, then I don't see much harm in trying to use Cure 1 and get a free heal, but only if you can see that you will be chain healing anyway. Like here, just with these 3 mobs, I can easily throw in some damaging spells as well. So I didn't want to use Cure 1 here. Okay, these will be just 3 small mobs. Again. I could have run away and bring these in for him, but I will do some big pulls when we get past the next boss. So here he used some warrior ability which healed him up. I just put a Cure 1 on him. And I was half expecting the free Cure to proc because I won't need it. And it always procs when you don't need it. Okay, time for the next boss. Don't ask me why is the Thaumaturge using the limit break and not the melee. This is not teaching you proper things. It should be the melee using that limit break. So he takes so little damage that I can just use my regen on him. He doesn't really need anything else. And in the previous pull where I was constantly using Cure 2, I didn't use Lucid Dreaming, which is my mana regen skill. But I only got down to like half mana. So even if I had to heal longer, I would have been still fine. I think he should get Time Buster soon. Yeah, there's a Tank Buster. But he is using mitigation. So he didn't get any damage from that Tank Buster. Just put a regen on him and that's fine. If he didn't use mitigation, then I would have used a Cure 1 or Cure 2 to heal him up. But if your tank is doing the job fine, at a boss such a low level, the only thing you need to cast as a healer is a regen. Now he used the mitigation again. He has a regen on. he will be fine. I was going to roll on the loot, but then had to realize that it's only me here, so all the loot is mine. Okay, get these dragons. And I will bring some more mobs. Which I can't bring because they are casters, so I need the tank to come and pick them up. Okay, I will put a region on him, and now we are going with the cure one way. So I already feel like I need to cast 2 on him. And now I also have a free proc of cure 2. And I want to use that before it expires. Let's put another region on him. Another cure 1. He's on full HP, so I'm not even going to waste my regen. So I used regen and a cure 1, and I got a free cure 2. Then I used regen and I used 2 cure 1s, which I could have replaced with 1 cure 2. It doesn't make that much of a difference. So yes, it's more beneficial, I will bring him more mobs, to just use cure 2, because you might be able to squeeze in 1 more GCD. See, I got the free proc again. But now when he got done this much, I'm not going to bother with cure 1, because I can easily put 2 cure 2s on him. And now he's out of mitigation, so I can see that I will have to chain heal. And he's solo, that cure 1 is not healing enough, and he even died. So yeah, I got him up. Or did I? Yes, I did. Okay. So there, because this is a spicy pool here, because the tank was out of mitigations, and I was trying to go with cure 1, because I will have to chain heal anyway. But the amount cure 1 was healing was not enough until the next cast time. So this is why it's safer to just use cure 2. This was a very good, because we had some good examples of where it was fine to use cure 1, because it didn't really make a difference. But in this case it did, because if I was just constantly using cure 2, then he would have been fine. Oh, the last time you played, you did go against Ifrit. Well, we can go and say hello to Ifrit for you. And he didn't take that much damage because he ran out of mitigation, and I was also trying to do some damage. If I was just purely healing and not doing anything else, then probably the cure one spam would have been fine, but most likely not. Simply there are just dungeons with certain pools where no matter if you chain heal or not, the amount of heal what cure one does in one GCD is just not going to be enough. We can go for Ifrit, but we will go for the level 50 version of Ifrit because he's more fun. Level 15 Ifrit is not a challenge. I just put a region on him because I need to put a party heal on anyway because everyone took damage there. So you got to level 50. Okay. Uh, don't know when was it when you last played, but getting through the patches at level 50 are a lot easier now because they removed some of the run here, speak with that side quest type of stuff from the main story. But still, getting from the end of Realm Reborn to Heaven's Word MSQ content, that's a lot. Oh, you were just level 29. Yeah, that was the level 15 Ifrit then. The small level Ifrit. Oh, come on, Black Mage. Greeting the damage. Okay, when I'm out of here, after this boss, I will show you Big Ifrit then. You go in there with 8 people. And they left the limit break in. Oh, that's not nice. Okay, so what did we learn in this dungeon? That using Cure 1, because you just like keeping the tank on a higher HP, is fine. It's not a sin, like people like to make you believe. But if you want to efficiently heal a tank who is doing wall-to-wall pulls, then you are better off just using Cure 2. Alright, let's get level 50 Ifrit up for you. We'll see how quickly this will pop. Oh, you played as an Arcanist. That's my main, or most likely a Summoner, which becomes from Arcanist. I can summon Bahamut. And Arcanist is actually the only job or like base class which can pick up two different jobs. So you can pick up Summoner, which will be the mage, and you can also pick up Scholar, which will be the healer. And whichever you level, the other one will get XP too. So usually that's how people end up with a high level Scholar because they were leveling Summoner, or the other way around, and they have no idea how to play the other job. There we go, Ifrit for you. Okay, so we have an Astro, another region healer. And there's Ifrit. Dear tank, please turn the boss away, thank you. We don't want to get fried. I know I said this already, but I do love having this dash on white mage. Yes, fire! And don't stand in the fire. That first cone fire tank buster always lands on the party because the tank is not turning him away in time. Okay, let's put a region on this tank. And now we need to kill these nails. Is this on me? Let's put in a region that people don't die. And now he's doing his hellfire. Good, Monk is using the LB, so I don't need to. But it was a bit late. Ifrit dashes. We don't want to be in the way of any of these. And healers, if you think that Benediction is only your emergency button, that red mage being on like 200 HP, that was your emergency. So please use Benediction. For those of you who don't know, Benediction will instantly restore someone's HP to full, but it has a 3-minute cooldown. And give this poor red mage one for almost dying. And I see a lot of healers who are hogging Benediction and not using it because they think that's some kind of emergency button. Well, in some way, yes, it's an emergency button, but for example, during a big pull in a dungeon, you can just let the tank drop down, and then with one button you can heal them up, and that's a lot easier on you than constantly casting heals. Okay, so let's try to go into a dungeon now where we actually have AoE and see how healing changes if we have AoE. Zemel Darkhold, okay. So this was actually the dungeon where I got yelled at when I was a sprout, that I wasn't doing anything. And that's because you get these blue crystals, and if you stand in those crystals, you don't take damage. And I didn't know that. We were standing there, I was waiting for the tank to take damage and nothing happened. And they yelled at me to do something or they will kick me from the party. It wasn't a nice experience. I didn't go into a dungeon with healer ever again. Until I came back in Shadowbringers. So I will just put a regen on the tank because they did take a bit of damage running here. But now I can just happily spam my AoE. And everyone will leave. That bard was standing outside of the blue, so they got damage. And you can see it on these mobs that my AoE Holy, that also puts a stun on the mobs, and if they can't hit the tank, you don't have to heal that much. So you always want to use Holy when you go into a dungeon. And this dungeon can be very tricky because you start it off with these blue crystals. So you get used to people not taking damage, and then if you do the same big pulls later down the line, those pulls can be quite nasty. So vibes in the second half of this dungeon are quite common. That's why it's a good one to do, because we will see again the difference between Cure 2 and Cure 1. We don't need to look away because it's just the cone AoE in front of him. And we can just keep attacking here, just don't stand in front of him in that AoE. The bard keeps running out of the blue and gets damaged. And they are not a sprout. On this character I'm a sprout. So I shouldn't be telling that bard where to stand. Okay, and now we need to go into the next blue bit because we couldn't kill the boss in time. Oh. Okay, that was all for the blue crystals. Now in the next bit, we are going to get damaged. I'm waiting a bit until the tank pulls the mobs, and I will only put the regen on him after, because regen, or like any heal, generates aggro. So if you heal the tank before they pull the mobs will come on you. And with how much damage she takes, I don't even think about using Cure 1, because it will be a lot more stressful on me. But I'm at half mana now, so I use my Lucid Dreaming to regenerate mana, and you can see that it's coming back on nicely. So we won't have any problems. By the time we get to the next pool, my mana will be full. And I'm not going to try that on this poor tank because they don't deserve it. But you've seen it on the NPCs in the previous run. What happens if at a pool like that I try to use Cure 1? After using Holy to stun these guys, I was actually using Swift Cast to get that Cure 2 cast out in time. And I always start using Cure 2 more or less around where he's on half HP. And it never heals up to full. So you definitely have the need for that amount of HP in one cast. And again, on this pool I got Lucid Dreaming back, but I haven't even had to use it. My mana is back to normal again, so you don't need to fear that you won't have enough mana. If you use Lucid Dreaming, and maybe if you bring a few potions with you just in case, then you will be absolutely fine. Using Cure 1 when the tank is taking so much damage is just more stressful on you. Let's use a heal because people are getting stoned and not the fun way. Okay, get the loot. Go on. And this is a spicy one again, because you just don't know what people decide to do. If they want to stand in this thing, while killing the mobs, or they want to kill all mobs first, or what do they want to do. But by the looks of it, this pool is stressful as it is. I'm going to Swift cast a Medica too now. Or Medica, that's just simple Medica. And I'm using Cure 2 on the tank, and it's not too much. He does need that healing. Could I cast Cure 1? Yes. But it would be stressful on him, and most likely he would die. And it would be also quite stressful on me, because I would be panicking that the tank is going to die. You can also look at it this way. If you were the tank, which healing would you prefer? Where you are unsure if that heal is going to be enough for you, or a healing where you definitely get healed enough? Yes, indeed, better to be safe than dead. Now, that's why I can't exactly say that using Cure One is bad, because there are situations where it might be easier for that healer to just quickly cast Cure One on you. Smaller heal, but if you don't die and you have enough HP, then it's fine. But don't try to use that smaller heal, because you get tricked by the description that it will proc the free Cure 2 for you. Because knowing how RNG is in this game, that happens at the worst situations. When you don't need it anymore, most of the time. Yes, it totally depends on the situation, and why I decided to bring this up, because some high-end players, they mean well, but they are trying to scare people and phrase it in a way that using Cure 1 is straight away bad. Like, it's in the game, it's a skill what you have, so it's not wrong using it, just it's not efficient in most situations. And that's what you need to explain to a newbie healer properly, in a way that they can see that it will be beneficial for everyone if they use the bigger heal. Because someone actually put a website together with all the stats and like calculations behind how many extra attacks you can do if you use this heal and not the other one. But that's not going to help someone who is just learning to heal. Like, they need to see it, what happens. I will give a comb to this tank because they were good. Okay. Now, if I tried a bigger roulette now, then definitely we will get a smaller dungeon. So I will just handpick a few dungeons from here. This thing's down from 52 as well. So Tetragrammaton is your level 60 skill, which is a 700 heal every 60 seconds. But I'm not going to pick a level 60 dungeon because we don't need this for the demonstration. So we will just pick smaller ones. Yeah, these 4 will do. And we go into the first one. Okay. So here I will have my lilies. And a lot of people say that these are really missing from the Realm Reborn content because they are pretty much the essence of what White Mage became through the years. So now, honestly, I don't even need to use Cure 2 if everything goes well here. I put a regen on the tank, so I'm in combat already, and you can see my lilies are generating, but I will also put dot on these guys because why not? I can refresh that regen on the tank. And I will put a lily on this DPS because obviously you need to heal the DPS more often than the tank. I will put down my bubble, which is a regen. And I did have to use my cure too because I used one lily on the DPS. If I waited a little bit more, I could have used Benediction on that tank, literally. But now I have one more lily, so that's good. Definitely in that situation where I reached for that heal, Cure 1 was out of question because it was obvious that it needed more healing. So now I have two lilies, which I can use on the tank. This was one lily. And this next one is going to be the second one. And I already have a third lily, which I might need a bit later during this guy here. So once you get into Heavensward content, and this is a level 51 dungeon, so if you are an actually leveling white mage, then you are not going to have this skill, the release yet, because that's a level 52 skill. But because I'm sing down, I have it. And you don't really want to overcap on them, but you also, so if you need it, use it when you have 3. But you can also just sit on them if there's no need for them to use it. I never understand this boss. Once I got someone stand in front of me when it was trying to kick me, and apparently that's what you are supposed to do, but I never have anyone else tried it again, so I don't know. Okay, so this tank is taking way too much damage already running, so I just used a lily on him. Okay, we're staying here. Good. Then I put my bubble down. Or he was just taking the mobs up. Probably he was just trying to take the mobs up and I used the heal a bit too early. I haven't been in a low level dungeon in ages. Yeah, this is the second half of this board. Sorry, tank. I'm new. I couldn't even see it from my Holly if we picked up the key or not. He pulled already, so I can put the region on him. And when we stop, then we can just use Holly. And the good thing in Holly is that you don't need a target for it. So you can literally keep the tank in target, spam your AoE, and when the tank needs healing, you will see it clearly. You don't even need to swap targets. You can just use your Lily. At this level, there's absolutely no reason to use Cure 1 because you have such better tools. So if I would see a healer here using Cure 1, I would offer to give them advice after the dungeon, because then they got the concept of white mage wrong. But in those Realm Reborn dungeons where we were, as long as I don't die, I don't really care what is more comfortable for them, to use Cure 1 or Cure 2. But if I die and they were spamming Cure 1, then again I would give them the advice of using Cure 2. And here, because we have so many mobs and it's hard to pick them up, most of the time you will use your AoE heal anyway because everyone is getting damaged. I have a slight PTSD from this dungeon because we came in here with my friend when she was learning to tank, and we spent 3 hours in this dungeon over and over again as we were explaining to her how to see if she had aggro on something and how to take up aggro and how to keep them on you and what else to do with them. So it was a very long learning lesson. Every time I get this dungeon in roulette, I'm reminded of 3 hours spent in this cold with a sprout tank. No, Paladin didn't have flash. This was like either late Shadowbringers or early Endwalker, something like that. Just we picked this dungeon, I think, because this was in level for her. So we took her in here to practice the skills what she had on that level. And I think it was Gunbreaker. I think everyone who likes Tancred started as a Gunbreaker, as tank, because wanted to be like Tancred. It was quite a day, yes. I can't even remember why we picked this dungeon. But you know, when you are teaching someone who never played an MMO before and haven't played a lot of games, then you need to explain all the elements of the UI. So that's the target bar, that's your enemy list. If it's green, then it's a problem because it should be red, so it's on you. all that kind of training. Okay, and we need to hide. Oh, I can't rescue them. Oh. Okay, my regen was enough. Pretty much everyone needs a heal now. And we need to hide again. And my rescue is on cooldown. Oh, poor monk. I tried to rescue them from that first one, but I was too late with it. And now my rescue is on cooldown, so I can't do anything else for them. Even with the DPS taking damage, my lilies were more than enough, because I didn't really have to use them on the tank. I will give a comb to the tank, they were nice. Oh, Tsuyu X. Yeah, that's that's a fun one. I actually need to make a guide on that for the moon mechanics, because this same friend requested it because she doesn't understand what she has to do there. So just the simple normal mode moon mechanics where you need to look at your debuff and stand on either the white or the dark side of the platform. That's going to be the next small guide I make. But pretty much that was the lesson for today. So I will do and go and do my level 70 job quest so I can get my level 70 skill, because I've been lacking on that one. Now, if you still want to hang around until I do that, you are all welcome to. I don't even remember anymore what's in the level 70 quest. Obviously, for those of you watching on Twitch, if you want to rewatch the lesson, then the VODs are available on YouTube, because I'm also uploading them there. But probably I will make a little condensed video from this one about the important bits for Cure 1 and Cure 2, and just put the dungeon examples into that video. So it won't be just me saying use Cure 2 because Cure 1 is bad. Because it's a bit more complex than that, so you can actually see the examples and the difference, what it makes to use one over the other. And then you can decide for yourself which one you would use in which situation. Okay, what is this last quest? Probably I will get some big baddie to spank. I know that these quests on White Mage were not my favorite. We'll just speed through the quest, kill the baddies, save the girl, and then that will be the end for today. I love these little banana smileys cheering in the chat. They are very cute. Don't ask me why I'm flying when I could have just teleported back to the base. Ending. Oh, now we can fly back where we came from. I love these quests. I hope you could hear the irony there. Go back somewhere just so you can go back where you came from. This is so Stormblood. But yes, in case you are not doing your job quests, please do them, unless you are missing out on skills. At least during the first half of the game progression. Is that level 41 dungeon where we've been with the ice sprites and where my tank died. I got that once in roulette, and one of the DPS was an arcanist. Not summoner, arcanist. So they haven't done job quests, and they haven't picked up the job progression at level 30. That was a painful run to do. And the sad thing was that all three of us were trying to talk to them. Like, we stopped and we were explaining that, hey, when we go out of here, you really do need to do your job quests and pick up your skills and everything. And we got no reply. So we don't know if they were just on console and not able to type, or if they didn't even read our message. Oh, the good 15 cross-class skills, yes. Don't even get me started on that. I swapped to PS5 now, but on PS4 I still have the cross-class hotbar for my summoner and my scholar, where I have like 5 dots. And yes, that person might be still an arcanist and on max level. Probably on higher content you would be really kicked out from a party for that. So I hope not. But it's just sad when you are trying to help other people and they don't even write back ok or something. Okay. Now we are getting a duty, and then I will get my level 70 skill. So next week we will do the Starlight event to get into the festive mood before Christmas. Apart from that, what else we will do? That's a good question. So, if you want to see healing or thanking advice, or you struggle with a specific duty, then let me know and we can go into the duty and I can try my best to explain. Or you can watch me floor tank it if I don't know how to do it. I, I do get the sentiment of it, especially with Archer becoming Bard, because the two things are not exactly the same. And also with Gladiator, you have the two swords on the icon, so you would think that you will be able to eventually pick up like two swords, and they are forcing you into wielding a shield and a sword. I get it. I wanted double blades, so finally with Viper we got that. Yeah, I kind of feel like Bard could have been like spell singer, like a sword singer was in Lineage 2. That was a paladin type of job with a sword and shield. And they also had like songs to buff the party. I could imagine Bard better like that. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that if they added Bard now as a new job, it wouldn't have a base class, it would be just Bard. And you could have that Bard storyline from the beginning, and maybe even their weapon would be like a modification of a harp and not a bow and arrow. I would have liked Archer to be more like a hunter. I picked it up originally when I was leveling Black Mage and you had to do Archer to unlock Black Mage from your Thaumaturge. And I think I left it on level 15 when I realized that it's going to turn into Bard. Oh, that Bard from 11 sounds like fun. Yeah, I really wish I played 11. The more you tell me about it, the more I like it. Because a lot of elements just feel like Lineage 2. I was tanking in Lineage and a Blade Dancer. I was pulling the mobs. Oh, thank you for the follow. I hope you have enjoyed your stay so far. Nice, I got like I think 3 follows today because there was this one now. Oh, Banana sent me a friend. Thank you, Banana. And I think sometimes YouTube doesn't write who follows, so I just hear the notification sound, but I don't get like a name. Probably I need to pay attention what I'm doing. Yes, Banana is the greatest. That's for sure. Banana is my co-writer with my Final Fantasy Friday articles. No, please, I don't want blue mage skills on me, thank you. Thank you for the lurk. Every lurk is much appreciated. Okay, how many more of these are there? Come on. One more. And the big one again. Is it going to land? Or do I need to heal this? Yeah, I think I need to heal. It's a white mage job quest, so obviously I need to heal. Okay. I don't have benediction. Why would I have benediction? I used it on myself before. But it's fine. Let's give one more here to that one there. Come on, let me spank that bad guy. Are we spanking it? Yes, we are. Would be nice if we had a tank, but... And that's a blue mage skill as well. Sunwave. Shame that you can't come in here with a blue mage to learn all these skills. Okay, and now I should get my level 70 skill. Okay, I just want my skill, please. Thank you. So this is a nice one. This will increase your healing. So if you use Medica 2 or Cure 3, which are your AoE heals, then you will get extra heal. So I will use this, and then let's use a cure 3, and I got that extra 1.5k heal. Nice. Okay, no more quests for my white mage. I will just go back to Gridania and wish you all a good night. Thank you for joining me and being so chatty. It was a very nice stream today. And there will be definitely a video coming on Friday then. And hopefully I can get another one done on Saturday. We will see. No promises on Saturday, but on Friday you are definitely getting a video. But until then, bye bye and have a nice week.